Hello, I'm Chuck Gold, and welcome to the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. Tonight, we continue our mission of helping support original music in the Delaware Valley with our three-step process. Listen, experience, and pass on original music in the Delaware Valley. But we need your help to get the word out. So let's get started. Tonight's artist hails from Northeast Philadelphia, but calls South Jersey home now. His unique mix of music makes him one of the more entertaining artists in the circuit. Here is Jason Ager on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
She's warm by tomato, cool alligator, especially when she flashes a smile. Sharp navigator, smooth operator, don't even think about touching the dial. Oh, and I'm a fool for you, honey, honey, quit your fooling around with me. Hey, I'm a fool for you, honey, get your money, lost a little work of me. Now I asked if I could date her, she used to see you later. Was being like a merry-go-round. Don't underestimate her, she's like an elevator. She'll lift you up and bring you on down. Oh, and I'm a fool for you, honey, honey, quit your fooling around with me. Hey, I'm a fool for you, honey, get your money, lots of little work on me. Cheddar, Sting came out after the buzz. Oh, and I'm a fool for you, honey, honey, quit your fooling around with me. Hey, I'm a fool for you, honey, get your money, lost a little work of me. Now listen up. She floated like a feather, black and yellow sweater, was bitten out, was spitting for sure. Cause once you go and let her, it's so hard to forget her. Just ask the fellas that's out of door. Before we begun, I'm begging and I'm pleading, feels like I'm bleeding, cause baby, you know that I'm stung. She used to see you later, was being like a merry-go-round. Don't underestimate her, she's like an elevator. She'll lift you up and bring you on down. Oh, I'm a fool for you, honey, honey, quit your fooling around me. Yeah, I'm a fool for you, honey, get your money, like some little work of me. Oh, I'm a fool for you, honey, honey, quit your fooling around with me. Oh, I'm a honey, get your money, lots of little worker bee. Oh, thank you all so much. Thank you, Broken Goblin.
So now you got a taste of his music. Let's find out more about him in the interview.
Yeah, so I remember being a kid and having like a little tape recorder, you know? I think a lot of musicians have this experience, like, you know, making little songs and recording them. At least, you know, back in the day, it was a little more difficult, you know, with the tapes and everything, you know, trying to navigate that world. But music was always around the house. My dad is a big fan of music, and my great uncle was a famous musician by the name of Dick Thomas. He was kind of well known in the Philly region. He wrote that song "Stu City Sue." It was been covered by Willie Nelson and some pretty big names have covered that song. Gene Autry, you know, a bunch of people that, you know, would boggle your mind. But I never knew any of that until I was, you know, out doing music later in life. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, your Uncle Dick did all this stuff." Oh, good to know. It was my dad. He was the main one, you know, like besides me making little recordings around the house with my dad, of course, we listened to like, you know, Creedence Clearwater Revival and you know, listen to a lot of Willie Nelson, you know, Eddie Arnold, Merle Haggard, you know, like all the old country and like southern rock kind of stuff. And he made some room for like the Beatles here and there, but he loved that, you know, the old school country. He's older. He's almost 90 right now. So I have like this weird eclectic taste from all the way back there. It's mostly from him though. My dad really loved music. And my mom, she believed in like learning instruments, you know, so she got me piano lessons when I was 8, and I played piano for about 10 years. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then I played in jazz band in high school and in college, and concert band. I played tuba. That was fun, and I still play tuba from time to time on recordings and whatnot. But yeah, really how I got into it was just having it around, you know, having it, you know, around the house, and my dad listening to music all the time.
Your talk goes round and round. You can try to turn the screw, and that's all you do.
Recently, someone asked me to do that at a show. It's like a singer-songwriter night, and the closest I've gotten was like a 3-word. They wanted a 3-word answer of what it might look like, what you could say, and what I came up with was funky nerd folk. So, you know, I used to describe it as describe my music as kind of like a bluesy funk, you know, R&B mix. And I still do some of that stuff, you know, when I'm with the trio. But when I'm doing acoustic stuff, it's along those lines of funky nerd folk, you know. songs with wits, you know what I mean? Like, you know, clever songs, hopefully, and you know, interesting lyrics and stories. And when you've been married for 10 years like I have, you can't sing about girls. it don't go over well with the wife, you know. So I try to sing about quirky stuff, you know. Like I just wrote a song the other day about you know, smart speakers, you know, like in your house, like Alexa and you know, Google Home, whatever the hell those things are. It's been fun to kind of like tease out some different things, and that's why I call it funky nerd folk. It's kind of nerdy and folky, all, you know, because it tells stories, you know. That's my best description these days.
Okay.
I'm not invisible, man. I'm indivisible, man.
I think I wrote my first original songs when I was, I want to say about 14, 15, and I've been playing in bands 16, I guess. I started playing out live, like, you know, VFWs and that kind of thing, where we could play underage shows, you know, when we were in high school. And then when we were in college, we were playing like the live clubs in Philly underage, you know, at the time. And, you know, the owners were pretty cool with us about that, you know, so we were playing, you know, down the Pontiac Grill on South Street, you you know, other places, Grape Street when it was back on the original Grape Street, and you know, when we weren't even 21 at the time. Yeah, I've been playing out. I guess that makes it about 20, 22 years. It's all right here.
Cause I'm a prime number, baby. Like so many, I've been proud. And I'm indivisible this time.
Like my dad said, or like I said, my dad was really into like country music, and then, you know, folks like Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. So like guitar was always the instrument that my dad gravitated towards. My mom, she's still a piano person, right? She wants me to play piano. She'll bring piano music over to my house. And like, hey, I just found this old piano song when you played, you know, when you were 17. You should pick it up again, you know. And I do on recordings and stuff. I do play it occasionally. But my guitar is like glued to my hands these days, you know. And I fell in love with guitar. Well, I got my first guitar at 14. I got an Ibanez Performance acoustic. I've been collecting guitars ever since.
You can try to split the out. I see you put that truth on trial.
The songwriting thing for me is like I said, it's a little bit, it can be a little bit quirky at times. You know, I'll either, usually I have like a riff in mind, because I'm always playing the guitar, I'm always picking the guitar up, and I'll hear this song like in the riff that I'm playing, like, ooh, that kind of sounds like a cool thing. And then I let it speak to me, you know, I let it kind of evolve. And usually what that means is like free association writing, you know, where you just kind of like, just keep your hand moving the whole time. You just keep writing it, and whatever comes out, comes out. I do the same thing lyrically. So I'll just start singing words, and sometimes it's mumbled, you know, it's gibberish. And then eventually an idea will crystallize, and it's usually something that's going on in the world or in my own world, you know, in my own life. You know, you know, I sing a lot about money. You know, being a starving musician at times. You know, that's a common, you know, thought in the back of my mind. And you know, I sing about love here and there, but it's always, you know, in the context of very, you know, interpersonal relationship kind of thing. But it all comes from that free association, whatever's kind of going through my mind. So I guess I wrote a bizarre song recently about, you know, home speakers, you know, the smart speakers. And a couple, you know, maybe a year ago, I wrote a song about Google, because why not, right? I write songs about zombies. I write songs about, you name it, man. I write a song about it.
All you do is drive that wedge and bring us closer to the edge. You can stop that hateful speech, but I'm beyond your reach. Cause I'm a prime number, baby. Like so many, I've been prime. Now I'm indivisible this time.
And I also belong to this group called the Philadelphia Songwriters Circle. So during quarantine, it's been kind of fun. They've been putting out song challenges every week. And I had a lot of fun with that. You know, different kind of like prompts. They'll give you a prompt, like, hey, write a song this week about X, Y, and Z. Last week it was about, write a song about a conversation. The week before that, I think it's one of the songs that I sent over to you, was if you had to open up a book, any random book in your house, just open up to a page and pick a sentence on the page and write a song about it. I let my son pick, and he picked up The Life of Pi by Yann Martel. And that's the story with the boy in the boat with the tiger. One of my favorite books of all time. I got a lot of books in this one area of my house. And he just picked that one out, probably because he had a tiger on. And he opened up to this page, and sure enough, on the page was this awesome quote about how orange is the color of survival. And that just kind of blossomed into this song about, you know, about surviving in a time of, you know, it's kind of a song about the time that we're in, but also about kind of the personal struggle to persevere, you know. So whatever I can get my hands on, man, I'm hungry when it comes to songwriting. I love good songs, and I try to write good songs, and you know, whatever I can think of. But a lot of it comes out of that, you know, out of the ether. I try to snatch something, you know.
So open up your eyes, maybe then you'll see that there's many more than one of me. I know you can't divide a number strong as we, and I ain't speaking mathematically.
And not just in music, but in other things, always kind of been like the little brother of New York, right? And I remember playing like New York clubs, 15 years ago, and thinking to myself like, wow, it's really competitive up here. Like a lot of talent, not a lot of like ways to get exposed, not a lot of money to be made in town. You go and play New York to say you play New York, And I think Philadelphia, because of radio stations like WXPN, and I love WXPN. I think it has attracted a lot of attention to this area. So people move here, like artists move here from all over the place to be in this scene. I've got friends who moved in from Pittsburgh, Joy Eicher, or I just saw her play with somebody called Carl Blau. He's from Washington State. And he moved to Philly, and because of that radio station, because of what's going on in town, there's a lot of attention here now. But I get the feeling these days it's a lot like New York was back 15, 20 years ago, where that's kind of where it's happening. And it can be hard to earn a living playing original music in this town, and it can also be really hard to stand out in this town because of the sheer magnitude of talent. The real kind of grinder that you find yourself in. You're really kind of, there's tons of musicians here. People are always changing bands, moving bands around. It's like there's no one band that's like kind of tearing it up. There's so much going on, and every day there's somebody new. So that for me has been tricky. How you stay relevant. Especially as I get a little bit older. How do I stay current? So for me, my personal experience, I don't do as much of like the full band live shows, but I do a lot more singer-songwriter stuff. Do a lot of the folk scene now, kind of work with the Philadelphia Folk Song Society, and that's been really good for me professionally and career-wise and creatively. So that's been really great. But Philly, like I said, is just it's a hotbed right now, which attracts a lot of attention. That in turn brings a lot of talent, and again, it can be a little bit hard to stand out, in a town where there's so much going on talent-wise. So for me, that's kind of where I see Philadelphia at the moment. And I've lived in a lot of other cities, I've lived in Europe, and I've lived, in Baltimore and DC, and every one of those towns, it felt easier to break into the music scene. And I'm from this area. I grew up in the Northeast Philly, Abington area. It's hard to still be noticed, even being from the area. So that's kind of where I find it. I'm a starving artist. There's so many people that probably fit in my same exact shoes, and I think that's part of the issue. Is just there's just so much talent. People are attracted to this area. So for radio stations like WXPN and the amount of talent. I haven't gotten to the point where it's no longer fun, and that's what I always say. That's my big thing. Once it gets to be no fun, once I no longer enjoy playing music or writing songs, then I'll hang it up. I prefer to look at how do I grow, as opposed to like how do I transition out of it. But I do think from time to time, regardless to what level I make it to, I could be the, if God willing, on the front page of Rolling Stone. But if it's no fun, then I don't want to be in it. You know what I mean? And I might be playing, in my basement to my kids. And if it's no fun, I'm not going to do it anymore. So it's all about, for me, it's about enjoyment. Music has to have a release. It's the closest thing to therapy that I've encountered. And it's a cathartic thing for me. I get to laugh and perform and release so much stress and anxiety and let people see my soul, bare my soul. And once that stops being entertaining to me and to the audience, once it stops being fun, I won't do it anymore. But for now, I'm still having fun, man, as you can tell.
then you see that there's many more than one of me. And no, you can't divide a number strong as we. And I ain't speaking mathematically.
I want to thank Jason for talking to us about his music. Now it's time for more music here on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
People constantly give me looks like I'm some character from their books, dressed in orange from head to toe. Think I'm some hunter, but they don't know. Life jackets, survival suits, stockpiles of orange fruits. I'm just making it day by day. Orange skies, don't you go away. Orange is the color of survival. Now I've been yellow, green, and blue. Orange is the color of survival. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. With this compulsion to the point of revulsion, I'm eating oranges by the pound. Carrots and dried apricots feel like the best chance I got to turn this whole thing around. Orange is the color of survival. I've been yellow, green, and blue. Orange is the color of survival. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. At night I dream I'm out on the sea, with all this orange surrounding me. There's a tiger in my lifeboat, and we're both trying to stay afloat. Change my stripes to be more like him. Would my outlook still be so grim? Or will my plans all go up in smoke if I start telling him knock-knock jokes? Orange is the color of survival. Now I've been yellow, green, and blue. Orange is the color of survival. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. Is it just a figment? Try to change your pigment and become something that you are not. Now that I'm in jeopardy, see if this old leopard possibly go change his spots. Orange is the color of survival. Now I've been yellow, green, and blue. Orange is the color of survival. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. Orange is the color of survival. Now I've been yellow, green, and blue. Orange is the color of survival. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. Change my stripes and I'll make it through. Change my stripes and I'll make it through.
Well, we have time for one more song, but before we do that, we want to thank you for watching. And remember, listen, experience, and pass on original music in the Delaware Valley. Here, one more time, is Jason on the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase.
Save us a few bucks that way, but I got it over my head. Still remember just what she said. Well, honey, let's go ahead and just pay. She found the name of some plumber. I swallowed my pride when we paid his number. Look at all that new plumbing. All I see is my shortcomings. Heavy, now heavy's the head that wears the crown. such a hassle I find. 'Cause I'm paying through the nose for my peace of mind. Funny thing about home renovation is what it can teach you about station in your relationship. We all gotta clean out our basements, always stay on top of that maintenance. Don't test her patience, Lord, don't slip. She'll give some builder a ring and you best watch your back, 'cause that's how it begins. Look at all this new plumbing, all you'll see is your shortcoming. Heaven, now heaven's the head that wears a crown. When I sit upon the throne and I look around, every man got his castle, what a hassle I find. 'Cause I'm paying through the nose for my peace of mind. Perhaps there's some of y'all won't sympathize. Say I bring it on myself, this much I realize. Everyone's got their pride that they keep down inside. For me it's always been just a bit too hard to hide. Heaven, now heaven's the head that wears a crown. When I sit upon my throne and I look around, every man got his castle, what a hassle I find. 'Cause I'm paying through the nose for some peace of mind.